The Israelite army gathers on a hillside, anxiety palpable in the air. Fear marks the faces of the soldiers as they prepare for battle. Tents and cooking fires dot the camp, a fragile sense of normalcy amidst the looming conflict. Goliath, a giant warrior, strides into the valley of Elah, his armor gleaming under the sun. His voice booms across the valley. "I challenge you to send out a champion to face me in single combat." The Israelite soldiers cower in fear as the giant's challenge hangs in the air. David approaches the Israelite camp on the hillside, sent by his father with vital supplies. Upon arrival, he is immediately confronted by the palpable fear and despair gripping the Israelite soldiers. The weight of their fear hangs heavy as David witnesses their terror. David overhears Goliath's defiant challenge, the blasphemous words igniting his anger. David is led into Saul's imposing tent, the air thick with anticipation. Saul eyes David with palpable doubt, his gaze heavy with skepticism. Despite the weight of Saul's doubt, David stands firm, his demeanor radiating unwavering confidence. David begins to speak, his voice resonating with the strength of his convictions. He recounts tales of protecting his flock, his words painting vivid images of bravery and resilience. Saul listens intently, his initial disbelief slowly giving way to curiosity. David's unwavering faith shines through his every word, captivating those within the tent. The tent fills with a hushed murmur as David's testimony touches the hearts of those assembled. Visibly moved by David's courage, Saul nods slowly, a reluctant agreement forming on his lips. In the valley of Elah, Saul struggles to prepare David for battle, but the armor feels more like a cage than protection. David shifts, his movements restricted by the unyielding metal. The sword hangs heavy at his side, an unfamiliar weight pulling him down. With a determined shake of his head, David rejects the trappings of war, choosing instead the tools of his past. He casts aside the heavy armor and sword, turning his back on the expectations of kings and warriors. David retrieves his shepherd's staff, its familiar weight grounding him. He slings the worn leather around his shoulder, a silent promise of protection. He heads towards the stream, the water glittering under the sun. David bends down, his fingers tracing the cool, smooth surface of the stones. 5 stones are selected, each one a perfect fit for his hand and purpose. He stands, the stones secure in his pouch, ready to face the giant. In the valley of Elah, David approaches the giant Goliath. Goliath looks down upon David with contempt. Goliath sneers, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" David stands firm, his voice resonating with unwavering faith. "You come to me with a sword and spear," David declares, "but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." David's eyes blaze with righteous fire as he proclaims, "The God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." In the valley of Elah, David swiftly prepares his sling, ready to face the giant. With deadly precision, David hurls the stone towards his towering foe. The stone finds its mark, striking Goliath in the forehead with fatal accuracy. Goliath crashes to the earth, his fall shaking the very ground beneath him. The Israelites erupt in triumphant cheers, their terror replaced by overwhelming joy. David runs towards Goliath with unwavering resolve. David reaches the fallen giant. He zitzes Goliath's massive sword. With a swift motion, David raises the sword. He cleanly severs Goliath's head. David hoists Goliath's head high above his own, a clear symbol of victory for the Israelites. The Philistine army, witnessing the demise of their champion, is immediately demoralized. Panic sets in. They break ranks, fleeing in disarray across the valley. The Israelite army explodes in jubilant celebration, their unified voices echoing across the camp. David is hoisted onto the shoulders of the celebrating soldiers, hailed as a hero. Sunlight glints brilliantly off the armor and weapons of the celebrating army, enhancing the festive atmosphere. Saul steps forward, his expression a complex mix of weariness and pride. He extends a hand to David in a gesture of camaraderie, acknowledging his courage. The air vibrates with joy, gratitude, and a renewed sense of hope for the future. David stands alone on the hillside, his gaze fixed upon the valley below, a silent testament to triumph. The weight of victory settles upon him as he contemplates the profound influence of faith. He considers the absolute necessity of unwavering trust in God's divine defense. As the sun begins its descent, a radiant golden hue bathes the valley, heralding the dawn of a new age for Israel.